Brian Burton here, ESPN college basketball analyst, along with Rising Coaches, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Alliance Vice President. Made a trip to Norfolk State to be able to look behind the scenes at the men's basketball program led by Coach Rob Jones. Last year they made a magical run, winning 2 MEAC championships, the regular season and the tournament, and on top of that they won an NCAA tournament game. There's been a ton of big things going on with the HBCU movement recently, and we want to make sure we're showing love and spotlighting firsthand on campus, getting a behind the scenes look. Tonight is the ring ceremony, and we want to just do some special coverage to be able to give you guys a behind the scenes look at this amazing program. Thank you. So what goes into that elite level of success? I think it's Mark Few's on there as number 1, but you're number 5, so you're not that far away from one of the best. So that puts you in the category saying you are one of the best. So what would you just want people to know that goes into that and the story behind that winning percentage?
I mean, a lot of good players, a lot of good coaches, a belief system, a culture system kind of goes into all of that, you know, and being able to adapt, because I think that every year it's a different plight in conference. You know, there's different teams, there's different, not different teams, but different players on every team, and you have to just learn how to adjust. I mean, you're going to have different players. You know, in this day and age, you hardly have any 4-year players anymore, so you have to figure out what's best for that team that year. You know, the offense that you used last year might not be the offense you use this year, and I think that some coaches don't adapt well to that, and I think that we've done a good job of adapting, you know, to that. So just trying to do the best for whatever team we have in that current year. And then also the scouting and the preparation that we put into each team. We don't take anybody for granted, no matter if it's the bottom team or the top team. We don't over-prepare for anybody. We do the same 2 days for a non-Division I that we might do for Kentucky. You know, we don't try to under-prepare or over-prepare for anybody. So it's just that understanding that we're not like that. People can be beat, and people can win, and we're not invincible and things like that. And just trying to just go and just prepare. And of course, a lot of hard work. You know, like the guys out there working day in and day out. I mean, you see, like even now, it's like before a game, we out here banging into each other and throwing each other around and stuff like that, because that's just the fabric of our program. It's just the hard work and the dedication, and you know, working day in and day out.
We're just a family, you know. All the guys like my brothers. The coaches like my fathers, my second father. You feel me? Like father figures to me. This across my chest. Well, Norfolk. Obviously, I'm from Norfolk, so it means a lot. Being in my hometown, playing in my hometown, it just means a lot. It means that I'm grateful to be in this position.
It's been phenomenal. You know, I've had a lot of experience at a lot of different places, but what separated Norfolk State from all the other schools is just the effort that Coach puts into what he does. I mean, the constant work, the toughness that he instills in the players, starting from preseason to the end of the season. And you see how we practice, it culminates to the end of the year when we win the championships. The ride here has been phenomenal. He's a player's coach. He's a coach that involves his assistants and allows us to be in the daily routine of being successful and what it takes to be successful. So it's been great. It's been great, and we look forward to continuing, you know, from this point on.
For me, being an HBCU player, that is definitely a blessing. Right now, like you said, we're sort of kind of the wave right now, as you could say, but I think we definitely have the players. We definitely have people that can, you know, play on the next level, play overseas, play in different places. We just have to have the opportunity. So for you guys to give us the opportunity, like Chris Paul and different tournament down in Atlanta where we play Tennessee State. So I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. And I think just being an HBCU athlete, we have a chip on our shoulder. We're definitely capable of playing.
Certain kind of toughness that you got to have to play here at Norfolk State University. We got a lot of pride, and it's a heavy tradition of winning. Even back to the CIAA days. So we just try to preach. Make sure you play with all your heart and leave everything on the court.
How would you say, Coach, how have you done it? Take us through the 7 years a little bit. Talk about how you've been able to accomplish all of the things that you guys have. Obviously, last year you guys went to the tournament and won a tournament game. Made some more history here. Talk about just what it's been like to build it and sustain it. And you guys are as winningest program, and I think top 5 in the country as far as winning percentage, over 70% in conference play. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, me coming in, Coach Jones, he was already here as the head coach. He was assistant for a few years before he got the head job. So the foundation was already built, when I got here. So I just tried to give my input, and I actually learned a lot my first few years because, Coach Jones is a brilliant coach. So, we just try to make sure we teach the kids that, we are here to first graduate. Secondly, win, but winning is very important. And defense is one of our main pillars, though.
A lot of people down talk HBCUs because they say we're not big enough or we don't have the right skill, but this program shows that winning is possible on any level, especially in the Division I level. Coach's record speaks for itself, his win percentage speaks for itself, so being an athlete in the HBCU means a lot. It gives others an opportunity to want to come here and do the same thing that we're going to do the same thing that has been done in the past, and what's more to come. So that means everything. It's really like a big culture thing, and that's what matters the most. Everybody sticking together.
Already been said, I think that a lot of people don't know how much winning we actually have done at Norfolk State. And it's not just the 74% win percentage, we're 4th in the state under my leadership in total Division I wins out of the 14 Division I schools in Virginia. So we're only we're right behind Old Dominion. I think we're like 4 behind Old Dominion, and only VCU in Virginia has more wins than us in the state of Virginia. So a lot of people see like Virginia Tech and James Madison, all these other schools, but we're really 4th in the state in wins and for Division I. So people need to see that and understand once again that you come to Norfolk State, you can have any kind of career you want to have, basketball-wise or any other thing that you want to do. So
the one thing we tell all our guys is that all the coaches have sons, and we're going to treat you like we treat our own child. And it's imperative to put them in position to be successful when they're done playing. Teach them the life skills that they're going to have in this real world. This is probably in their life the last safety net that they're going to have. So we want to put them and give them the opportunity to expand themselves, to educate themselves, but also be prepared that when it's all over, they can go out and they can support their family just like we support ours.
When thinking about Coach Jones and how he operates, you can definitely see where he comes from because he actually implements that into the team and into the program of us being gritty and us being able to take the next step to get the W, to get the win, because that's really what's important, winning. And I also say that he's a person that definitely cares about us off the court, how we're developing as men. He might even test us in practice by not making a call, just see how we react, or just little things like that, just test our character and make sure that we're grown as men. And a funny story, I gotta think. I want to say my freshman year. I can't lie, I couldn't play defense to save my life. And so every time I got blown by or missed a coverage or missed anything, it was just he was on me. Defense. So that's something that sticks with me, and it just makes me laugh when I look back and think about it now.
Talk about what it means to coach at a HBCU and what you would want anybody that may hear this or doesn't know about HBCU or doesn't know about the school and the basketball aspect. What would you want them to know that they probably don't?
Coaching at HBCU is a special thing. It's a special place. I didn't go to HBCU myself, honestly, but I went to a PWI. But at the same time, I am an African American man, and you take pride in coaching at a HBCU. So I just like the underdog factor of it. I think I've been an underdog pretty much my whole life, growing up the way I grew up, and the constraints and things that I grew up in. So being at HBCU is just kind of like being an underdog, continuing. And I think that I've proved people wrong even from growing up in my neighborhood. I want to continue to prove people wrong with the basketball program. I want to show people that we can go out and beat anybody on any given night. We can compete with anybody on any given night, and it's not going to be just a pushover if you schedule us. I don't know about any other HBCUs or anything like that, but I just know when you schedule Norfolk State basketball, it's not going to be a pushover. And I think we've proven that time in and time out with some of the big wins that we've had.
Absolutely. You talk about growing up, talk about how you grew up. Share a little bit about your story that's led you to coaching and led you to coach the way you coach now.
I grew up in a housing projects in South Jamaica, Queens, New York. I also lived in Far Rockaway, Queens. I grew up with a single mom household. My dad left us early with domestic violence household, and through the ups and downs, and a poverty-stricken household. So with those things, it just kind of just molded me to be, have resilience and to be a tough individual. I always realized that when I was there that this isn't right, that it got to be something better, and I always wanted better for myself. I never wanted to be, caught into a negative statistic. I always wanted to be a positive statistic. So I was the first person in my family to go to college, and to finish college, and now I transitioned to the coaching world. And then with coaching, it just happened that I couldn't make the NBA, so it was like, what's the next thing? And just coaching. I always said I wanted to either work in sports or entertainment, and I was fortunate enough to work for both. I worked in the entertainment world for a while, and then of course now in the sports world. So just as every day is like living a dream. Most people don't get a chance to really work in the place that they really want to work at. It's like you almost do it out of necessity for a job or financial gain or things like that. But for me, to be able to have employment is something that I really want to do is just tremendous, and I take it very, very serious. And that impacts the way I coach, because I coach hard. I coach with a chip on my shoulder. Every time I go out there, I try to prove people wrong. No matter if I'm going against somebody who makes $1 million, $5 million, or whatever, whatever it might be, and they're supposed to be better than me. I try to go out there and prove it that I don't care what you got. It don't matter. You're gonna have to come out and coach today, and you're gonna have to come out and play today. So that's just the chip on the shoulder that I coach with every time I go out.
That gym get rocking. This seat about 5,000, 6,000. Yeah, definitely get rocking. So our first game is tomorrow. So whoever watching, pull up.
Big champs, you see it. Putting that pain for that. Putting that pain for that. Hey, come on, man. You see what it do. Look at that, MEAC champs. You gotta put in pain for that one.
All right, big 45. Big 40.